What's up, guys? It's the Truck Guru here, and I'm here with Pat Talbot, the owner of Talbot Wraps, and this pretty outstanding Jeep Gladiator. In case you guys aren't aware, this is Sema 2022, and we are posted up in the Mickey Thompson spot. So, Pat, do you want to tell us a little bit about why you built this Jeep?
Yeah, of course. So the reason I built it is my family and I, we want to do a lot more outdoor activities, and having a truck is cool, but it requires a lot more money to do it, especially with Overlanding. And so my son, he's getting really into being outdoors, starting fires, trying to go fishing, camping.
Scary and cool at the same time.
It's terrifying. It's terrifying. But I'd rather be the one to teach him versus him going out and getting taught by someone else. And so we bought the Jeep specifically for Sema. Well, actually, right after we bought it, I realized I actually fell in love with it. And so that's where the passion came from. Reached out to Chris at the beginning of the year, Truck Guru, shout out to him, probably the best build manager, hands down. He takes care of everybody.
I appreciate
the best
that.
He could possibly do.
Thank you.
And reached out to him and said, hey, what can we do with the build? And we started talking about the ideas, the theme behind it, how it could look, what we could do with it. And as you see, it is
it's a purpose build, right? Like,
it's a very purpose
it's
build.
a very functional, overlanding, off the grid, but still daily capable, correct?
Exactly. Specifically, Mickey Thompson. Let's talk about Mickey Thompson real quick. The tires, the brand, everything about them, the wheels, but the tires themselves, they ride amazing. They're 37-inch MTZ Baja brand, and they ride amazing. We drove this Jeep all the way from North Carolina on these tires, and you can see the tread is still 100%.
They're smooth, are they quiet, or
they're actually very quiet. So I have a Gibson exhaust. It's a very clean, quiet note because Jeeps are obnoxious. The engine does not sound nice with an exhaust.
It's not a V8.
It's not a V8, but I could hear the exhaust note over the tires on the way here, which is amazing.
So another thing, if you had to say like there was one product on this Jeep that you absolutely love more than any other product, aside from the tires, because shout out to our boys at Mickey Thompson, but aside from those, can you show us what that product might be? So follow him, check him out.
So honestly, my number one favorite piece of equipment would be the tent. It is a Smitty built tent. It's the quality is absolutely amazing. I opened it up. We used it actually a little bit before the show. For my family, we are a smaller family. We could actually fit all four of us in this tent. If you're a bigger family, maybe two, but it is just outstanding. The quality, the things that comes with it, you don't need extra activity. You don't need anything extra to use it. It comes with everything.
I know when I had my Raptor, you kind of hijacked my Raptor and you were obsessed with my tent.
Yeah.
So I had to get you a tent.
Oh yes. So when I was still in the military, we had some training to do, and I said, hey Chris, let me borrow your Raptor. It has a tent on it, and I absolutely fell in love with it. I think
it was the first time that tent was even popped out.
It was amazing. I loved it. I got to sleep in the desert, riding in a Raptor that was pretty well built, and with the tent, and that tent is what actually just, I was like, I'm sold. I gotta have one. I have to have one.
Perfect.
And to speak a little bit more about the tent, you gotta have a good wrap for the tent.
Right.
And so this right here, I would say would be my second favorite part of the Jeep, which is an Expedition 1. It's a mule equipment style. It has tons of mod spots that you can,
Yeah, it's very modular, right?
Very
so you can put the rotor pack, the high lift jacks, all the other, like your slings, and all the other off-road overland equipment, right? So why don't you take the camera, and why don't you go show us some of the features on the Jeep and talk about it as you show it.
Okay, yeah.
So hand it over.
So a little bit more about the Expedition 1 rack. It is as sturdy as they come. You can move it, you can manipulate it, it ain't going nowhere. It is just absolutely amazing. The quality of the build, the quality of the equipment, it's absolutely outstanding. As we move forward, obviously Mickey Thompson, another amazing piece of equipment is the Twisted Pro lighting. I'm not a huge fan of having a trillion lights on the build. It kind of takes away.
Tell us about these lights, because I know that for you it holds a special place in your heart, right?
It does. So these are Twisted Pro lighting. One, it's a veteran-owned and operated business. Sean is absolutely amazing to work with. He'll do whatever he can to make it happen. The very last minute, I realized I needed some mounts, and I was like, oh shit. Well, he came through and sent me these high-quality, heavy-duty mounts that hold these lights.
Right on the pillar of the windshield. So you
windshield.
have the A-pillar mounts, the lights. I think this is probably one of my favorite features on vehicles is seeing the A-pillar lights. Like,
Exactly.
This is super gangster.
But you don't need a lot of lights. And I'll tell you why as soon as we get to the front. But these lights right here, these are the RT4 lights from Twisted Pro, and they work absolutely outstanding.
So I can see a little bit while we're over here. I can see we got some custom inside. This didn't come like this. So
No.
tell us about the companies that are involved on the inside.
So as you can see, again, I'm a very simplistic person. I like simplicity.
Less is more.
Less is more, in my opinion. Road wire leather interior, hands down, by far the best interior.
And they stitched your name right there in the seat.
In there. I've had a few different types of leather seats, and the problem with it is they're so hard to install. And some people may not have the money to get a professional install. It's not cheap. I did it by myself. Granted, it's my
first time too.
First time.
Wow.
I did my second build with road wire leather interior.
But the first time you didn't do it.
First time I didn't do it. This time I did it, and it was pretty much like Legos. You just kind of put together the pieces, and it's very self-explanatory. And they came out amazing. I didn't have to pay a professional. I did it, and you can see there's no wrinkles. There's no.
Oh, you did a good job.
They're absolutely outstanding, and they're comfortable. They're fluffy. They're everything you would want in an aftermarket leather interior.
All right. Well, what kind of suspension you got on this thing?
So we have a 3.5-inch lift from Rubicon Express.
Okay.
It's not the most intricate lift, but it works amazing.
And that's a full parts house brand, correct?
It is a full parts house. Almost all of this stuff you can find in full parts. The suspension, the fenders. You can find the bumpers.
Who are the fenders by?
These are from Bushwhacker.
Okay.
They are just kind of like slip-on fenders.
I know it's kind of scary getting these things, the first ones off, because you really just got to pull, and it sounds like you're breaking your whole entire Jeep, and they just come straight off, right?
So in the instructions, it says pull them off. You will break all the clips, but they're not needed. You don't have to worry about them. So once you pull the fenders off,
Just yank.
You just yank. You just give them a good yank and pull.
Oh man, I bet that was scary.
It was terrifying. All you hear is just crack, 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 crack. But they came out flawless. They look amazing.
And just going back here before we move any further forward, this topographical map, this kind of goes with the full theme of the Overland stuff, right?
Yes, so it may be hard to understand what this is. It is a topographical map. We tried to make it as 3D as possible. So if you were to take a map of Maui, blow it up, or might go zoom in, this is actually a very in-depth picture of what Maui is.
That's cool. And why Maui?
So we're from Maui. Me and my family, we're all from Maui.
So you're Hawaiian.
I'm Turkish.
Mahalo.
I'm Turkish, but I was raised in Maui. That's all I know. Shout out to my wife, Ashley. She hand-laid all of this.
Wow.
And so it took her about 2
Patience,
days.
right?
Patience. I didn't have to. I wrapped the vehicle myself, but she did the.
So the vehicle's not black originally?
No, it is not.
Wow.
If we open the door, you can clearly tell it's white.
That's awesome. And you did a good job. I could see no wrinkles or bubbles. The edges look really fantastic. Seems like you take a lot of time and you care about your work, correct?
Yeah. So our pride is quality. Quality over time. Some people want their shit done in a timely manner. Well, you can't have all three. But we take our time. We make sure all the corners, and it's a Jeep, so it's not the easiest to wrap.
No, there's a lot of corners and edges and rolls. Edges. I know you're really crazy about your edges. So if you guys look in here, that is absolutely phenomenal how he's able to tuck everything away. And you can't even tell. It's insane. Good job.
I appreciate it. Thank you. As we move forward, the Rubicon Express.
I like the embossed look right here with the Rubicon. How you laid it underneath and wrapped over it.
Yep.
Looks really nice.
We want to have like that ghost effect.
And, I mean, you won't want to lose that. You got to floss like a boss because it's a Rubicon, right?
Yep. You got to floss like a boss. You got to get in here.
Those shocks are awesome.
They ride stellar. I've rode in a couple Jeeps now with a couple different
Smooth like butter.
Hands down, Rubicon Express. You can buy them on full parts. Now, moving on to the lights real quick.
Yeah.
The reason why we don't need a bunch of lights, Twisted Pro lights are by far the end.
Are these LED?
These are LED. They're actually special. So the Gladiator comes with 9-inch headlights. These are 7-inch headlights.
Like the old Jeeps.
These are 7-inch Jeeps headlights.
Like JK.
Like JK. So you can run either 7 or 9.
That's cool. Headlights. And there's really no gap. They're just kind of inlaid in there, and they got this piece around, and it kind of looks like they were meant to be this.
So you have like this JK style brought to the Gladiator.
I was worried when you told me that you had a 7-inch light and a 9-inch hole, and I was like, "What's up with that?" So this is pretty heavy duty and stout, and I mean, obviously, it looks like it's all 4-wheel parts stuff, huh?
Everything came from 4-wheel parts: the winch, the bumper, everything.
Suspension.
Pretty much everything other than the suspension
other than everything.
The wheels and the tires.
Yeah, the rack, obviously.
The bumper, it's heavy duty, as you can see. It's a Smitty built bumper. It's a 9,000-pound winch.
Synthetic rope, yep.
Synthetic rope. It pulls like a hell of a motherfucker. We have custom made paint to match the wrap.
The tires and wheels are pretty sweet too.
Tires, wheels.
I love the color on these wheels and how you match the decals. It's pretty nice.
So I didn't know much about Dirty Life wheels until I did more research. I will tell you hands down, these are probably the coolest brand of wheels I've ever had.
Was it kind of, did you put these on? Because it's kind of a bitch to put these things on when you have to go in a certain pattern and you have to torque them by hand.
So the cool thing about these wheels is they're called dual tech wheels. So you can run them for street use, which since we were driving from North Carolina, we're not doing any off-roading until after.
So it's a simulated bead right now.
Yeah. So there's two pieces. You can put them behind and then put the bead lock on.
Yeah, because the tire normally sits in between the bead and the edge of the wheel. Correct?
Yes.
For a real bead lock.
Yeah, going long distance, it's not recommended for bead locks because there's no actual.
So the simulated stuff is actually legal on the road as well, right? DOT approved.
Yep. Now, if I wanted to, I could take the bead lock off, move the tire out, put them on, and then go overlanding without having to worry about any type of slippage, anything like that. Dirty Life wheels, amazing off-road wheels. They're light, they're beautiful. The color just.
Of course, these tires look fantastic.
And again, like I said, we drove 2,800 miles on these tires, and you can tell they look brand new.
Brand new.
Brand new, quiet.
So yeah, the high lift jack. You got the rack looks really nice. Was this rack pretty easy to put together?
It was actually. It is in pieces, but the directions and the instructions that Expedition 1 gives you with the rack is phenomenal. You can actually take everything off and customize what you want, how you want. I ended up doing the same color for the rack to make it very similar.
A little windy today, huh?
Yeah.
Man. So if you had to give anybody any advice out there who wants to get into SEMA, what would that piece of advice be?
You know what's funny is I actually just had a conversation with my friend last night. He was looking at the pictures and everything of the Jeep, and he just was outstanding, just blown away. He's like, bro, how do I get into this? And at the beginning of the year, I told him, well, wait till the beginning of the year. Once the beginning of the year starts, reach out to Chris Crane, Truck Guru.
That's me, by the way.
He will take care of you. It's a very simple process. He lays it out very easily. There's no questions on what to do, how to do it. Everything is already done for you. All you have to do is be proactive and be willing to communicate. If the communication is not there, you're not going to get what you want, and then you might be mad about how you're going to.
And let me tell you, the communication failures are never on my end, right? So I make sure to be very vocal and very upfront, honest about everything. So I don't want you to make the wrong decision. I don't want you to fumble and buy something you don't need, or certainly is not something that you actually want. And I kind of help, woo you into getting what you need out of your head and helping you design exactly what you want.
Exactly. Now, sometimes people don't really know how to build or like the type of theme. When we initially started the theme of this build, we talked, and I didn't really have an idea of how I wanted it to look. So Chris, he was able to actually point me in the direction of how it could look, and I really liked that idea. And it came out obviously flawlessly. So shout out to Trucker for even having the idea of what it could possibly look like.
Thank you.
Two other companies I'd really like to shout out is Gen Y Hitch. These hitches, I've had multiple Gen Y hitches, and I'll never go to anybody else.
Yeah, there's so much versatility behind them with so many ports. You have a steps. You can get in here, get into your tent.
Yep.
You have, obviously, you can still haul stuff. I'm assuming you have your ball and everything still in here.
Oh, yes.
And then I'm guessing it's something about this cool little decal here, huh?
Well, the decal, yes. So I saw this guy on Instagram. I had to give him a follow, and he makes all these handmade. It is real carbon fiber with epoxy. He did phenomenal with the color, of course. It matches the Expedition 1 rack and a few other pieces.
And we see that logo up in there.
Oh, yeah. Got to get the Truckaroo logo. Now, let's move back over to the front. There's another brand I'd like to show. Obviously, you know what it is, Bolt Lock. So Bolt Lock, they make amazing types of bolts or amazing types of locks for any of your needs. Now, this one specifically, Jeeps, if you don't know, they're very notorious.
You can just pop that and get up in there.
They're very notorious for people stealing. And the cool thing is,
you can't do that.
You can't do that. Now, a lot of people, what they do is they buy the bolt locks that are on this side, and they can drill through them. Well, with this one, you can't. You can drill right through, but you ain't getting in. Now, all I gotta do is use the key for the Jeep, unlock it, and it pops open the trunk.
Isn't it nice just to have one key?
It's amazing.
So
it's absolutely stunning. Everything about this Jeep came out amazing. I love it.
Are you stoked on this Gladiator?
It's my favorite build. It is my favorite build. I love my truck, but this is my favorite build.
Well, we appreciate your time, Pat. On to the next one.
Thank you.